As per usual, it's been a crazy week in the Hankins household, but we're here to work on the Winter's Veil wreath. Over the course of the last week, I did add a second layer. I did all the glitter and silver foil in between those spaces, just like we have here. And so now I want to go back through and I want to add more of the pattern paper to the top, because the pattern paper is what this was all about. I don't want this to be the premiere. I want the papers in this kit to be the premiere. So I may add a few of those here really quick while we're talking. And then I did go ahead and I layered this from the front of the package on 2 layers of cardstock and got it cut out. We're going to really trim it close to this, and then this edge will be covered with snowflakes. I'm going to try and get those cut this week because I want to finish this up next Saturday. And then I'm going to come along the base here with the expansion foam stuff. I thought I had a thing of it here handy that you spread it on. It looks like puff paint. And then when you hit it with the Cosmic Fluff through this, and then when you hit it with heat, it expands, so it'll look like a really nice snowdrift down here at the bottom, I hope. And then this stuff along on the roof, so I'm just going to add a little bit of shimmer, not a lot of depth to that, and then we'll have different sizes of snowflakes die cuts from, I have 2 or 3 different sizes from Tim Holtz, and I've got some other ones. And then if I need to add a little bit of something extra, I have these from Little Birdie that I can add to this as well. So that's what we're going to be working on. So let's take a minute and move this aside and work on a few of these. Now I am going to lay this flat down. So we're going to have a little bit of glitter. I'll get these over here covered up first. How's that? Doesn't look like I have any of these on this side, so I'm going to go ahead. I did find my Night of Navy ink spot after we were done last week. So I have my Night of Navy ink spot that I can go through. And you know where it was? Sitting right here in plain sight over here to the left of, or right of me. Just plain sight. But see how that adds just a little extra depth to that? And so I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to go this way with this one. And I give it a good crease. But then when I come up here, it relaxes a little bit. And so I'm going to have to come in here with my glue. Just like that. Drop that in. And then this is going to come in here just like this on that crease. Now because this is a square crease and we're going in a circumference, we're going to lose a little bit of that ability to pinch that in, but I've been using these to put those into place just like that. So we've got that one. Let's add one of the stripes maybe in here. No, I don't want to use that one. We could use that one, but it's too much like that one. Let's come in with this one. Now this has got these on here, but I want to go with this side. So let's go ahead. Yeah, Honeybee is 11 years old. And he's getting stiff and sore and it's hard to move. You know how it is when you start aging, when you don't really want to. And so we took him into the vet today. He's also developed that he's having trouble holding his bladder. Usually right after he eats. So we wanted to get it checked out and make sure there wasn't anything super serious. And my friendly neighborhood vet thinks that it's just, he tested out okay. Unless we wanted to do blood work, he tested out fine. It was more like he's getting old like the rest of us. So we're just going to have to watch him for any decrease in mobility, or if the incontinence becomes worse. He's just like the rest of us. He's getting old. I've got one of those. Let's put one of the deer over here maybe. Or let's do this one. Let's do this one because I like that against that silver. I don't want to use the baseboard. Shiplap is not it for me on this one. I want to try and use as much pattern as I can. So I'll have this part done next week. And we'll do that center bar and hopefully get some snowflakes in place. And I think I'm going to go this way with this. So basically all we need to do is just let honeybee age gracefully and spoil him as much as we can, because, you know, that's what you do with the animals. Though he could stand losing a little bit of weight. He's at about 41 pounds. He should be between about 35 and 38. So I got to start watching the weight thing with him a little bit more. And it doesn't take long for this glue to dry, so that's helpful. I have a couple of the pieces here that I cut off from the house. Now remember, these strips were 7 inches long and 1.5 inches wide. And we are going to do another one of these in October because I really want to do a Halloween one or a fall one or both. And I have enough paper pads that I could make one for probably all of you who leave a comment if I wanted to ship them, but you know, I don't trust Postal Service. And I think that's just sad that we can't trust them. Now they have this new thing called ground ship or something that is supposed to be amazing. Well, I'll believe it when I see it. I'm not going to test my money on it, I can tell you that. Which has made it difficult because I really had been stocking stuff to put in an Etsy shop. The journals I've been making, the products I've curated to put in an Etsy shop. And now I can't bring myself to do that because I can't trust the Postal Service to do their job, which is really sad. It's what we pay them for. But as long as I get my bills where they need to go, I'm not going to complain a whole lot. I'm trying to push that into that slot in there so it'll really crease in there, but as long as it'll do that and stick to itself, then we're okay. Let's put the blue stripe one over here. Could do that side, but we did, nah, it's different than that one. So yeah, let's do that. So that's it from our household. It's hot. It's supposed to rain tonight, as I'm recording this. So I'm hoping my videos get uploaded before the rain moves in. And then we move into heat advisories all next week. No rain, but too hot to go outside and do anything. So go figure there. Let's slip that one right in there. Pull this one off of there and just work these around until we get to where we're going. Now, trying to think, there was something else. Oh, I am working on this journal. I'll have this to show you on Monday as to where we're at and what I'm doing with that. So that's coming up. I guess I did. Let's put one of these over here. Now let's use this one. Nope, not that one. Let's go ahead and use the stripe over here. Let's use the stripe. Because it went with that, so it'll pair off nice. But I want to get that journal done and out of the way. And I don't think I'm going to have time for another Christmas project before the end of the month. So when we come back, the first part of August, I will be starting to pull some of these other projects off the couch and trying to get them worked up and out of the way. So I want my couch emptied in time for fall and hell. Actually, I need it emptied by September when we get the girls. Hopefully still getting the girls. Adrienne turns 18 in November, and she is applying for her first job. She's going to apply for the holiday help at Goodwill. And before anybody says anything about Goodwill, I want you to understand that they really are a good company. They help people. It's not the rumors that you hear online and how horrible they are and how they make too much money. They make a lot of money on what they do, and yes, they do, but they pour that money back in to services. We have an education center in Poplar Bluff, and they provide daycare for moms and dads who are wanting to take the classes, get their GED or any of the other training classes that they offer. So they don't have to worry about, I can't come because I don't have somebody to watch my kids. You know, they want you to succeed. So think about that the next time you're following the gossip trend and thinking that they're not a worthy company. They are. They're a very worthy company. Granted, there are probably some that are not as good as we would like them to be. That's just par for the course. It happens everywhere and in every job, not just in any job. So, it's also a good place for her. She struggles with some issues, and they're a company that strives to provide employment for ones that have issues so that they can be productive. She's mentally, she's fine. She just, being around people is a problem for her in large groups, and they'll understand that, and if they see she's struggling, they'll move her to the back room and give her the opportunity to take a breath, and I think that's fabulous. Okay, that's going to do it for me today. We are at the 11, almost 12 minute mark, but you can see where I'm going with this. And we started over here. I'm going to put one clip on this so we know where we started. That's where we started. So I've got the rest of this to finish, and when we come back next Saturday, we'll talk about that centerpiece, and we'll watch it snow. That's it for me in the studio today. Please remember to like, to share, and subscribe. And creative Christmas blessings.